I just really love the Reptoid conspiracy theory, and I kind of wanted to talk about it. So, first things first, what is a reptoid? Reptoids are lizard people, are bipedal humanoids slightly larger than us. They're rumored to have been infiltrating the human race, but really, who knows? Now, I want to start off with some history where reptilians have been around a long time before humans. However, at some point, maybe the dinosaur extinction event, that went underground. Now, this is supported by one of the oldest accounts of human history, the Bible. Now, there are several important passages, but I want to focus on two. Number one, Genesis 3:14. On your belly you shall go, and dust you shall eat the days of your life. Now, this is all about God's punishment to the serpent from the Garden of Eden. Now, it implies snakes with legs who can speak. Is this reminding you of anything? The Garden of Eden is the first documented case of a reptilian infiltration. And the whole apple situation is very reminiscent of our modern day and age, where reptilian infiltrators will take delight in influencing the human race into worse and worse decisions. In Matthew 5:5, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Here, Jesus appears to be stating a prophecy, but to really get to the point of the matter, you have to interpret it more as a history. He's talking of humans and reptoids. See, reptoids are generally stronger and they lack empathy. Now, since we're assuming they've been forced underground by an extinction event, humans, also the meek, have inherited the earth. We now control the entire world. Now, up next, I want to talk about the description of a lizard person, because you're going to need to know how to spot one. You see, they've been noticed as being from 5 to 9 feet tall. While this is quite the range, we can use it to infer a lot about the reptoid hierarchy. You see, at the top, you have the alpha draconans. These stand nearly 9 feet tall, and their skin is a pale and almost translucent white, or at least reports would claim so. Instead of claws for weapons, it's suggested that they may have psionic abilities. Now, the 5 to 6 foot tall reptoids are the ones that are usually infiltrating our humanoid ranks. It's how they've gained the upper hand. Now, all of our world's leaders are currently being controlled by reptoids. Now, back to description. They have flame-colored eyes. You can't tell, they hide it with contacts. And of course, there's also the parts everybody knows. Scales, man-eating fangs, but these are going to be covered up by skin suits, so really, in the grand scheme of things, in spotting a reptoid, they're not going to play much of a role. Now, one notable and almost startling feature of reptoids is their resemblance to us. They have a humanoid structure of 2 arms, 2 legs, and they stand upright. Now, the only plausible connection for this biological similarity is that we have evolved from reptoids. And this is actually supported in science, where humans have, quote-unquote, a lizard brain that's very, very similar to what reptiles have. It controls basic needs, but the parts that aren't lizard of our brains are the ones that control empathy. You see, I think the lack of such a feature is what allows reptoids to so ruthlessly manipulate us. And they can take advantage of our biological similarity to infiltrate us almost flawlessly. And now I want to get into a little bit more recent history. And to start off, there's a little known fact that the last human president was JFK. You see, it's no coincidence that his term was ended early, so that Lyndon B. Johnson could take his place. At this point, reptoids were only just beginning to get the hang of infiltrating our species, and this is evident in some of LBJ's most damning non-human traits. You see, there was the territorial sense where LBJ showed off Jumbo all the time, and this was his way of flexing on our meekness. He also held bathroom meetings, which showcased a lack of knowledge of our human social cues. Finally, he had a fondness for aquatic cars. He would drive his guests into a lake. Some may say that this was as a prank, whereas I believe it was to cool off his cold-blooded body in the hot Texan heat. Now, Ever since this whole presidential debacle, reptoids have been increasing their influence over us. You see, the most widely accepted example is Zuckerberg, who is an information specialist stealing our information and compiling it for the Reptoid Invasion Force. Now, this is only the first phase of the attack. On the other side of internet business, the little-known reptoid Jeffrey Bezos uses Amazon to control supply lines, where currently they have 13% of the American package deliveries as the fourth largest delivery company in the country. But they're quickly growing, and once you start to look at the clues, the endgame becomes fairly obvious. As soon as he has control, the Reptoids will be able to disable the world supply network with the push of a single button. Now, as to how to spot a Reptoid, in my research I've noticed a trend. Reptilian infiltrators often disguise themselves as seniors. Now, this isn't out of any affinity for old folks, but rather, as their reptilian skin is thick and scaled, it's not nearly as flexible as ours. So, they need to design skin suits with a bit of extra give. And for that, as a senior, their ill-fitting suits can be disguised as wrinkles or such. Have you ever noticed that presidents seem to keep getting older and older? Now, reptoids are also given away by their lack of temperature regulation. You see, they require a strict 28 degrees Celsius, or somewhere in that range, and if the room drops below that, you may start to notice that they begin to move sluggishly, as their blood is not properly able to bring oxygen to their muscles. Alright, that's about all I have to share with you today. Have a good one.